to this brief demonstration of our online billing form. First thing you should do is go to Login to Online Forms. Now, some practices are not enrolled for the View and Search feature of our online forms. I do recommend that everybody be enrolled for it, but if you are not enrolled and you want to submit billing without logging in, you click this link, Access the Billing Form Without Logging In. When you do that, you will get this pop up. Are you sure you want to complete this form without logging in first? So there's no way that somebody who is enrolled for the View and Search feature should ever be saying OK here. But if you said OK, you would come to our billing form. Now, what we will do is we are going to go back to the login to the online forms, and we will actually log in. Now, when you log in, what ends up happening is your office name will auto-populate on the form. You will be able to search forms. There's links, search patient forms and search billing logs. If you are not enrolled for the View and Search feature of the forms, you will not have these links available. You will not be able to search your forms. So now that we're on the billing form, your office name has auto-populated. The first question that's very important, are all visits below conducted by telehealth? Many of our providers are behavioral health providers doing telehealth, so it is important to follow these instructions. If all visits conducted were done by telehealth and all patients on the form were at home at the time of telehealth, you say yes. If only some of the visits were done by telehealth, or if you did all telehealth, but at least one patient was not at home for the telehealth session, you say no. Then, if any sessions were done by telehealth and you said no, only if you said no, you enter 10 after the last procedure code for each patient where telehealth was performed and the patient was at home. That is the new place of service code that some payers are using. Eventually, all payers will be using 10 as the place of service code if telehealth was done and the patient was at home. If you did telehealth and the patient was not at home, you do a 02. So again, if you click yes here to the question, you will not be entering a 10 or a 02. We automatically assume that all patients were at home. You will not be entering 10 or 02. You only do that if you say no. So let's say no here. Then we go down to the first patient, John Smith. Okay, you can type in a date or you can select a date. So we'll just select a date and you can enter the procedure codes. Okay, now if you notice I did 90837 and I'm going to do 10. So that will indicate that that patient was seen via telehealth and the patient was at home at the time of the session. Co-payment type. If the patient paid a co-payment, you can indicate the type. And now a co-pay paid field. So you enter $10 for copay paid. For new diagnosis codes, you only enter these if the diagnosis codes have changed for the patient since the last visit. If this is a brand new patient that we have just are submitting billing for the first time, you would leave this blank because the diagnosis codes are already on the patient form you have submitted. Now you go down to patient 2, but you see there's only patient name. There's no other fields. There's no date of service, no procedure codes, but look what happens. If I type in a name, all of a sudden, we now have the required fields. And here I'll do just 90837, nothing in parentheses. That is telling me that you saw this patient in the office. This was not a telehealth session. And I'll do check, I'll do $25 paid, and then you will enter the check number. And again, let's say that the diagnosis codes have changed. So I might go and do something like, there's the new diagnosis code. We'll go down to patient number 3. Again, you only see the patient name there. Once I go and I put in the patient name, and again, I can type or I can just select, and we will go and do this. If you're doing multiple units, you would do the procedure code times and the number of units. Something like that, okay? and then we can enter credit card, we can enter the amount that was paid, and we'll leave the new diagnosis codes blank. I'll go down and I'll do one other one. Let's do for Mickey Mouse. And Mickey Mouse was in, and we'll say on February 17th, and we will do that. You do not even have to say none for copay type. You can do that, but if the patient did not do a copayment, did not pay anything at the time of service, you would say no. It's important to understand when you're saying copayment paid, that is the amount that the patient paid for that date of service. But let's just say that Mickey Mouse paid $50 and it was for this visit and for the next visit. Let's assume we don't have any other patients to do on here, so we will ignore this patient number 5. I will go and say Mickey Mouse paid $50 including for next visit. Or you could say, that would tell me that $25 was for this visit, $25 was for the next one. You might say including for previous 3 visits. If you did that, he paid $50 for a total of 4 visits, so $12.50 would be applied to this visit and $12.50 to each of the previous 3 visits. You can do that. You also might have new authorization for Michael Johnson, auth number, and good for 12 visits from 2/15/22 to 2/14/23. You could enter something like that in there, and then we will have that information on file. So you have everything that's been completed here. You've gone through, you've entered John Smith, the date of service, procedure code with the place of service code of 10 for telehealth, copay paid of $10. You did a similar thing for Susan Williams, but no telehealth there. You came down here for Michael Johnson, again, no telehealth, okay, and indicated a $25 copay. And you came down here and you did Mickey Mouse, and you had a $50 copayment, and you gave a note that Mickey paid $50 including for previous 3 visits. Then you just click submit. If there's a problem, you'll get notice that there's a problem. If it goes through, you can actually go and print a PDF form right here. You can view this. There's no reason to really print it, but if you want to see it, click that. And now this is the billing form that we are going to be getting. There's your special notes. There's everything. There's the new diagnosis code, how much was paid, and the type. All of that information is there. You're more than welcome to print it out and save it if you want, but frankly, there's no reason to if you are enrolled for the view and search feature of the forms. If you are not enrolled for the view and search feature of the forms, you absolutely must go and print this PDF and save this PDF so you have record of what billing you have submitted. So it definitely is a lot easier to do the view and search, and in fact, if you're back here now, you can go back and do another billing form if you want. If you want to search the billing forms, we'll come over to search billing logs, and this is how you search, okay? We don't have to worry about your office name, okay, in here. We will go, but we'll put that here anyway, okay? So the one thing we will do is we will go and put Mickey Mouse. We're going to come over here and do form type. There's 3 types, unarchived, archived, and all. After I submit billing from a form, I archive the form. So I will just do all. Then you click this magnifying glass. Magnifying glass goes through. You see, you search for Mickey Mouse, but here it has John Smith. That's because it is only showing the first patient on the form in this little table. If you click the PDF, now we're back to seeing the same PDF we looked at before, and there is Mickey Mouse. If we want to look for John Smith, you can do all, or you can do archive, but we'll go and click the magnifying glass, and you can see there are a number of forms that have been submitted over the years for John Smith. We'll look at this one here that was previously archived, and you can see there's John Smith for a date of service of January 31st. If you want to take it further with your search, you can actually put in a date of service. So there's your date of service. If we want to search now, there's only one form that comes up, and there it is for John Smith for January 31st. So there's various ways you can search. If you wanted to search forms that you submitted during a particular time, let's say we want to do from 12/1 of 2021 to 27/2022, and again, form type is all, we will do search, and you will see that 2 forms were submitted during that time. So you can narrow it down by doing a submission date if you would like also. That does conclude this brief demonstration of how to submit a billing log to us. Again, the important thing to remember for the billing log, first we recommend you be enrolled for the view and search feature of the form so your office name populates and so you can search forms. Secondly, remember to follow these instructions for the telehealth. This is very, very important. Okay? Remember that you are only entering a 10 or a 02 if you say no to this question, and then you would enter a 10 or a 02 if telehealth was performed. That is really important to understand. Remember also, the copayment that you're entering is the amount to be applied to that date of service unless you indicate something different under additional comments. Thanks for watching this brief demonstration of our online billing form.